Okay, so we're here in Blender 2.78. Ugh, never thought I'd be saying that. Alright, so we're here in the new Blender. Now I'm using 2.78 instead of 2.79 because I read the log on 2.79 and they said that some of the rigs made in 2.78 may not work, but all the ones at 2.77 and prior should work. So I figured it'd be safer to work with something in 2.78, like use that instead, just in case the person who, like, let's just say you're using a dev kit or something and they made it in 2.78 and it doesn't work, and you'll be like, oh, why isn't this working? You know, it's not you, it's Blender. So let's just stick with the one that, you know, works until they get the bugs out of it that makes it work for everything else. That's relatively also the reason why I'm using Avstar 2.7. What is it? Avstar 2. No, I can still use the point. Avstar 2 release client 7. It's a fairly older release client and it works, so I'm using it for that reason alone. And also, they're just constantly releasing release clients, so you know, I don't know. Anyway, that's what I'll be using for this. I'm using Blender 2.78 and Avstar release client 7. Yeah, so now that we have our Blender environment already set up, because seriously, I was about to go on talking about Blender again. Let's go and open up the blend that we made from our previous version. So we're just going to go to File, Open, and go to my desktop. And we're going to open this blend that says Pre-Baby Blend. And it should come in fairly easily. So you get this thing here that says you have to update it. Now, hang on a second. I have to go and download, what do you call it? A script. Because I forgot that this new Blender took out screencasting. So you have to actually go and download it. Hang on. Exo's talking to me. Exo, I think I may have the scripts. Let me see real quick if I have it. Of course, while I'm doing the video, I totally forget how to do add-ons. Oh, okay, so I did install the screencast keys. Oh, and there it is. Nice. Yay, thinking ahead. Alright, sorry about that. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to click on the Avstar. I think it's the skeleton, or is it the mesh? I keep forgetting. Alright, so one of these does the thing. I think you gotta click on the skeleton. Alright, there we go. This. Alright, so what we need to do is go over here to the Avstar tab, and we're going to go to Tools, and we're just going to press Update Rig, and we're just going to wait for it. And make sure the target rig is set to extended as well. That means it goes and does the whole, what you call it, thingy. You know, Bento. Alright, so we have our skeleton in here. And we're going to go into pose mode. And you see it just usually show you 3 bones. Well, that's cool. We're going to go into Avstar mode again. And we're going to make sure that you have experimental turned on. And no sliders, please. Thank you. Yeah, I guess it's cool. And this one is fine. And I'm going to press... Where is that button? This is why I don't like this newer Avstar, because everything has moved. Let's see. Appearance, roll distance, scroll. Skin and weight. There you go. Oh, gosh. And you see, now we have all the bento bones and all the rest of that junk that we need. So, what I need to do is press, edit mode. No, I need to, I need to select the bones. and go from pose mode to object mode, or from object mode to edit mode. And just like before, we want to make sure that we have the options in the x-axis mirror turned on. And I'm going to press B and select all the bones that go to the hand. And I'm going to press S and scale it down to their little baby size. And then just put them in here. Now, if somebody had came to me and told me, like, when I told them that I didn't want to do bento because I had ran into this issue about the hands, he suggested that I just edit the hand to look like the second life skeleton, and that should that should solve the problem. But the hand would, if I try to edit the hand, it would totally jack up like the thumbs and stuff like that. So I just keep editing the bones. I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine if you know how to edit, animate bento bones. It's the same as animating regular ones, so I've been told, but I just can't quite get it right. Anyway, so what I'm doing now, is that I'm using C select, which is a circle one, and I'm selecting all the joints here in the thumb, and I'm pressing G, and I'm just moving the bone to where the thumb is, and I press R and rotate it until it gets here. And I'm going to do the same thing for the rest of the little fingers. Just putting bones into there using C select and R and then G. And we're basically just moving the bones. And you want to make sure you got your camera right so you're not... There we go. And I do the same thing up here. Whoops. Selecting the hind legs. Get out of here, hind legs. So press C. You can also try turning on that 4 display. I forgot where that was in this one. Oh, quad view. And that way you can look at it, the hand, at all angles, and that way you can make sure that you got everything right and it's lined up properly, because you don't want to be like this where the hands are like sliding out of the fingers. You want to try to keep those piggies in, all the bones in. So let's see. If the camera is getting on your nerves, you could just press 5 on the numpad, and you can zoom in without it eating your screen. So you can just do this. And we want to make sure that the bone is totally in the finger and not tipping out of the finger. If there are bones getting in your way, you can just press, click on the bone and press H, and that'll get rid of it. You can press Alt H, and that brings them back, but that's just what I like to do. Alright, so we're going to do this. Ugh! Then you can see where that quad thing will come in handy. So I'm going to turn on the quad, and I'm going to turn off lock, and I'm going to zoom in on the hand. So we're going to have one here, and then the other one on this side, and then the other one right here, and this one top down. There. You know, I never really have this problem when I'm doing it real quick for myself, but I guess because I'm showing off and showing how to do it, that's when you get all the mistakes. select the fingers. And now I do want to shuffle the hand over a little bit. So, alright, so the hand is in there. Great. So let's turn off the quad. And, oof, it's a little janky, but there we go. It's a growing baby. Its fingers will straighten out when it gets older. So let me fix it a little more. Alright, there we go. That's as good as I'm going to get it. So I'm going to go over to the other hand and make sure, because they never almost line up the same way. So I'm going to turn off the x-axis on this end and make sure that it's all done on this side. I feel like I think it is done. So like it's never lined up. Oh, it is done. Alright, so we've got the fingers and stuff in there. We're good. Fingers are lined up. The face. That was another thing that hindered me from doing bento stuff, is that, that face cluster. I hate things being clustered together. Alright, so one thing that's different about this Avstar is that once you make any changes to the bones, like the skeletons, like we were just doing, you gotta go back to the Avstar tab, and it'll yell at you and says, unsafe joint positions. You have to go and press store joint edits. And if it shoots off, you gotta just go to sync. And it should, oh no, you just snap control to rig. And then it'll just snap right back down. So don't worry about that. You gotta always press that though. So now that we have our fingers in position, let's go and put our ears down here. So I'm gonna turn this back on. So I'm only doing this once. Put our ears here. And I know that somebody said the wings should be fairly close to the body. Make them smaller, I guess. And the wings here. And these are my hind legs. So I'm going to press Alt H and hide everything that I moved. Okay, so I'm going to grab my wing bones. Then we're going to press this, grab my hind legs, in case the people want to make a baby centaur or whatever. Make them small. I try to keep them as the same height as the regular baby legs. So press S and scale it down. Alright. And then we do the same thing, moving this hind leg root closer to the butt. So that's like its middle part here. And I think we do the same thing for the tail. Let's see, select the tail. Press and scale it down, because it's a baby again. And then we put it there. So now we have our bento bones and stuff in position. I heard you should keep this alt face thingy kind of close to the head. Keeps the eyes from going bananas. So once we have that all locked up, we're going to go back to Avstar, and then store our joint edits. Snap control to rig. Alright. Whoops, I unclicked it. There we go. And that's setting up the skeleton for bento. Now we're going to go into rigging, but that's going to be another video. So we're almost done. Let's start rigging that baby.